So I mentioned that one of the trends that B2B companies is having increased alignment on sales and marketing, client success. Something that we've really developed as far as a SaaS Growth Advisory Practice is really laying out what are the key elements of a SaaS company, what are the key functional areas for a SaaS business lifecycle as it pertains really to how the customer moves through your SaaS company and interacts with the key departments of your SaaS company. So we've got, a customer interacts with marketing, or a prospect interacts with marketing, they interact with sales, they then hopefully win the deal, and then you have to involve contracting and legal and finance. And as you start to onboard that prospect, now a customer, you're dealing with professional services. When you start to talk about renewals, you're dealing with client success, or if you're dealing with expansion and upsells, that client success team is talking to those customers. And then if there are any issues, customer service getting involved. So these are we've just highlighted quickly some of the key functional areas of a SaaS business. And then at the bottom, we have this foundational element. And we call this out because when you're talking about strategy, strategic planning, what are tips and tricks to improve and elevate your RevOps, you always want to make sure that you are measuring and monitoring and improving. And the way to do that is to make sure that your foundations for your SaaS company are there. So really understanding your tech stack, you have a clear plan for analytics and reporting, and probably most importantly, and a lot of companies don't tend to do this until maybe it's a little too late, or they're just realizing they need to be more mature, is governance. So when a client comes to us and says, okay, how can I improve my sales and marketing alignment? How can I make sure that we're thinking about the right steps to scale? This is a great tool. In part, we've highlighted some of the most common business processes per functional area to say this, in an ideal world, a SaaS company would have all these elements well documented, really bought in by the key functional areas. So when I think about how can I improve sales and marketing alignment, one quick thing is to say, have I had a conversation, marketing and sales, on our ideal client profile? Has client success been involved in that? Do we agree that we have a clear target market that we're going to pursue? Kind of step one. Then when marketing needs to take a person, convert them to a lead or contact, do we have some sort of conversation about sales handoff and then what's supposed to be happening there, prospecting? So I bring this up more to say, hey, if any of you see any of these topics here that you want to drill into, ask a few more questions, because I think we have about 5 minutes before we have to start wrapping up. Kyle will talk about this a little later, if you want to spend time with me, happy to go one-on-one with any of you on this conversation of how to use a tool like this. Think about, what are the business processes you have in place or that you don't have in place, recognizing it's probably something that you should have in place in order to allow your business to scale. This is a great tool that we've put together just to highlight some of those key business practices. A couple other ones that we recommend to clients to spend time on is understanding their customer lifecycle journey as it relates to these key functional areas. So just starting to map out, someone comes in, what data are we collecting? What happens to that person once they get into our system? What are the SLAs? What are the service level agreements that's supposed to happen? Is that our BDR team following up with them? Or is that even marketing's team that it's really their responsibility to pre-qualify those people? And again, do we have our system aligning that we're grouping those people automatically to the account, or creating them as an opportunity so that when we do hand it off to someone on our sales or BDR team, they are looking at the collective group of people versus, just one lead that, like Mariana had said, might be left behind because we have a team focused on accounts versus a team looking at leads. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I will have this as a potential. I'm thinking about this with our marketing team, potentially sending this tool out if you guys want to get a copy of this, just to take back and think about how to improve and elevate the conversation on alignment. For this call, a lot of that conversation is really on marketing and sales, but really it spans the spectrum here.